topic is President George Weah a kleptocrat? If you don't know what that means, this is what I'm here. This is what I do, bringing you the things probably you don't understand for you to understand. Even those who understand them better than me, so that we can be able to get another side of the issues that we have here to discuss. At this time, I want to welcome you to Focus on Liberia. This is our program, The Hour of Politics, with me, Ansony Sieh. And as always, we are broadcasting from Atlanta, Georgia. Focus on Liberia, where we educate, we elevate, and promote all things Liberia. Our topic today is a big one. President George Weah. We are asking the question, is he a kleptocrat? Somebody may be wondering, what is Sieh up to again? Well, why am I asking this question? Why am I here joining you and asking you to join me for us to find the answer to this big question? The reason, we will always remind you, a congressman of the United States has described our president, our beloved President George Weah, as a kleptocrat. He described his government as being kleptocratic. There you have it. In Africa, we have a special relationship with Liberia, which was funded by free American slaves. Unfortunately, President George Weah leads a kleptocratic government. That is the key word. And so I am asking the question, and I believe you have that same question. Is our government a kleptocratic government? Or is our president a kleptocrat? That is why I came up with the topic, is President George Weah a kleptocrat? And so many of you might be wondering, how does this cap fit the president? What makes you think he is a kleptocrat? Oh, that's the same question I'm asking. But what I'm going to do, for which I want you to join me, is to find the answer. Can we find the answer in the activities of the president? Can we find the answer in the activities of the government? That is why we're going to find out today. And that is why, if you have not shared the show, it is your time to do so and join me as we take this ride. But let me drag you through how we're going to have this today at this hour of politics. First of all, we're going to define kleptocracy, because the guy said our government is a kleptocratic government, right? What? How could that guy describe our government in this manner? So first of all, we're going to define what is kleptocracy, or what is a kleptocratic government. We will definitely define that one. All right. And then after that, we will say, who is a kleptocrat? We will define that one for you too. And then we will also look at what all suggests and unquestionably show that President Weah is a kleptocrat, if he definitely is. What are the things that can unquestionably suggest that he is? I will do my best to bring you those things so that you can know whether or not our president is a kleptocrat, whether or not our government is a kleptocratic form of government as described by this U.S. congressman. And so, folks, this is where you need to be. Let's get started with this very big topic that I got for you here. And welcome to the Hour of Politics. So let's get started. Is President George Weah a kleptocrat? For one to be a kleptocrat, first, that one won't be in government. It is clear. For one to be a kleptocrat, because a kleptocratic government is a form of government. And I'll give you that form of government, the words or the descriptions that make that government to be kleptocratic. So for one to be a kleptocrat, that one must be in government. Is our president in government? Oh, of course, he's the head of government. And so when the description came from the U.S. congressman saying that our president is a kleptocrat, he said a lot of things that I want to bring for you again, so you will know where I'm coming from. He continues, Unfortunately, President George Weah leads a kleptocratic government that has been engaged in political corruption. Underline that word, political corruption, from the day he assumed office by depleting the government coffers for personal use. See, he is accusing our president of depleting our national coffers and taking the money for his personal use. Wow. That is why we are saying he has a point. Yes, he does, for saying our government is kleptocratic. And this is why I said that. It is the definition of kleptocratic form of government that makes him to have a point. So let's bring it on, folks. So the question we're going to ask right now, what is kleptocracy? What is a kleptocratic government? Let's roll in some answers here, folks. And if you have not shared yet, you have to do this, because the train that we are on is going to sail smooth. Though it will get rocky, but I will throw some punches as we go along. Kleptocracy, a government in which those in power exploit national resources and steal. He said the Liberian government, under the watch of Ambassador George Weah, President Weah, is a kleptocratic form of government because, according to him, immediately upon assuming office, President Weah had embarked on the effort of depleting state resources for his personal use. Is that true? What a big talk. President Weah, the guy who played football, the guy who earned the millions, as we've been told that at some point he had $85 million. And stay with me here. I have images to also show as we try to find the answer to this question, or this big question, whether or not our president is a kleptocrat. And so a kleptocratic form of government is a government in which those in power exploit, loot state resources, or, to put it in plain terms, steal from the people or from the government. And you know the government for the people, right? So I am saying to you, for him to have described our government as kleptocratic, he went further by giving reason. That's because the president, upon assuming office, has been depleting state resources from the national coffers. That's what he said. So let's roll in another example. Look, we have to give you good definitions that will really give us the understanding. We have to connect the dots here. Kleptocracy, a rule by a thief or thieves. So when you have a government that has been ruled, headed by somebody who is a thief, then that government can best be described as a kleptocratic form of government. In other words, if you have a government that is being led by thieves, people who steal money, then that government is a kleptocratic form of government. Let me progress. Kleptocracy again, because I want to be fair to this subject, I pulled definition from 6 different dictionaries so that we can get clue, or better clue. Kleptocracy, government in which leaders use their power to steal money from the country. Is that happening in Liberia? Do you see people using their power, using their position, using their connection in government to steal? Do you see that? And the question I'm asking you is not that you don't see that, but where do you see that? Do you see that in Liberia? Do you see that in the Liberian government? And do you also have evidence? Be a prima facie evidence or circumstantial evidence. Do you have that? I got some of those. I'm going to show you them. And that is why you need to be here. So what I'm saying is a kleptocratic form of government is a government in which leaders use the power, their position, to steal money from the country. Any government in which you have individuals using their positions, using their power to steal from the government, to steal from the country, that government is a kleptocratic form of government. And so I come back to my first question. Is our president a kleptocrat? Has President Weah stolen a dime from the Liberian government? Well, let's keep going. But that is what the congressman said, that when the president came, he went into the coffer and started taking money. We will find out whether he's telling the truth or not. Finally, kleptocracy, a state of unrestrained political corruption ruled by thieves. Wow. Kleptocracy, a state of unrestrained political corruption and ruled by thieves. So some of you might be wondering, my man, what is the big words you using, man? Unrestrained political corruption. When you are unrestrained, that means there's no control. Nobody can stop you. You can do anything you want because you have power in your hand. Earlier, we gave you another definition that talk about when people use power. When they use their power to steal from the state. But now we are saying in this other definition, kleptocracy is a state of unrestrained, no control. They can do anything, they can get away. Nobody can do anything to them. The question I'm asking you is that happening in your country? Are there officials in the Liberian government? Are there leaders in Liberia who, without restraint, who do anything, take any form of money or any amount of money and get away with it? Do you see that in Liberia? I want you to comment, like dialogue. Do you see that? Where leaders in power with no fear of any consequences go about taking money that don't belong to them and using it personally? Do you see that in our country? Do you see that in our government? Are our leaders involved in this state of unrestrained political corruption? And when unrestrained political corruption is being carried out by individuals, leaders, including a president, who rule the country, making them thieves, then that country is experiencing a kleptocratic form of government. And the same can go that those individuals, those officials involved in the unrestrained political corruption, those thieves in government, they are the ones that we call kleptocrat. Individuals who are in the business of exercising unrestrained political corruption as they rule the country and steal from their people. Is that happening in your Liberia? Is that happening in your Liberia? Are there officials of government involved in this behavior? If your answer is yes, then the good news is you have answered your own question. That the form of government that we have is kleptocratic. And that individuals who are involved in this unrestrained political corruption are nothing but thieves. And of course, these individuals are kleptocrats. But I'm not leaving anybody untouched here. I'm going for the big page. Is our president a kleptocrat? So I'm asking the question, who is a kleptocrat? A leader or a ruler who uses political power to steal his or her country's resources, that individual is a kleptocrat. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf was in power. She set by example. But this is not about Ellen now. I will have some time to go after her because she did so much to our country. A leader who makes himself or herself rich and powerful by stealing from a country is a kleptocrat. Do we have leaders who have made themselves powerful, who have made themselves so powerful to the extent that they can steal and take any amount of money from their country? Do we have those kind of leaders? When I check my history books, old man Todman was involved in this behavior. Yes, he was a kleptocrat. The last time I checked, Charles Taylor was involved in this behavior. In fact, at some point, the Wildflower President Taylor's house were more like the central bank of Liberia. Indeed, President Taylor was a kleptocrat. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, the woman who will tell you, I will pour my head on the chopping board for my son. Her son was like a de facto president in Liberia. Unrestrained corruption. And sometimes Liberians need to get this thing. Their word corruption, it has a diverse definition. What leaders in Liberia have done that I'm going to show you here today, they try to legalize this corruption. Whether or not you legalize it does not excuse the fact that it is corruption. When one engages in corruption as they serve in a government, that individual is a kleptocrat. Taylor was, Todman was, Todman was, Ellen was. And so is President George Weah a kleptocrat? I'm asking a question because I must be able to show evidence before I can come to that conclusion whether or not our president is a kleptocrat. To be a kleptocrat, you must have been someone, a leader who is stealing from your country, who is practicing unconstrained political corruption. Whether you're sending brown envelopes for certain things to go your way, whether or not you're getting kickbacks from contracts that you have allotted or influence to individuals that you have connection with, that is unrestrained political corruption. The question is, our leader, is he involved in anything of this sort? And if your answer, based on your following of things, based on reports, based on facts, be it circumstantial or prima facie, then of course he is a kleptocrat. But we have to make progress. So let's come to the meat of it. I'm tired of addressing this thing. Let me come to the meat of it. And this is the question that will take us to the meat. What all suggest unquestionably show that President Weah is a kleptocrat. What all suggest and unquestionably show that President Weah is a kleptocrat. Because you can't just be talking this thing. Anybody should not just be saying this thing without facts, without proof. So let's bring in some of the facts that we know so far. Facts that suggest behaviors, conduct, activities, involvement that suggest that our dear leader, government is kleptocratic. And the mere fact that he is involved in these activities, be it directly or indirectly, you know, the leaders will not be the one at the central bank. They will not be the one at the finance ministry. They will not be the one at all these agencies of government where these corrupt activities take place, right? They don't have to be there. But guess what? They send people there. Those people represent them. They add through those people. And those people are the ones that bring the money to them. And so we know for a fact that there have been activities linking directly or indirectly leaders in our country, historically speaking, and even now, in the case of President Weah, that suggest and show unquestionably that he is a kleptocrat. So let's bring one. President Weah got elected. The excitement was in the roof. Many young people were very hopeful because they elected one of their own, somebody of their kind, a man who will grab an empty bag of salt, put plantain leaf in it, tie it to go and play football, something I did, many of you can relate to. A young man who will walk on garbage can truck. But let me not bore you with a history. Was elected. He was their kind. He was our kind. And so it was no surprise the celebration was humongous, Satya will say. It was no surprise that many were crying tears of joy. They felt the Redeemer has come finally in the land because they saw his path as a young man coming up, going through struggle, eating farinha with coconut, bossing pankana at some instances to survive. And so they felt that they have never and ever had anybody with that history, with those experiences. And at this time, they were like, now that we have gotten one of us, somebody who shares our pains, who have walked in the same shoe we are today, he will fight fiercely for us. He will advocate for us. His budget will be about us. Everything he will do will be about improving our material condition. I remember President Weah when he was crying upon the news that he has gotten elected as president of the Republic of Liberia. It was a moment like no other. I was not hopeful. He was crying tears of joy. He had been on the journey he has impressed on us to redeem his people, to redeem his country. I'm giving these emphasis to give you a unique picture that when somebody comes from that walks of life, they are coming with a sense of purpose to do for his country and people because that person has seen it all. That was the expectation. And even those of us who have doubted President Weah's ability to lead as a leader felt that is the essence of democracy. We hope he can prove us wrong. Now, another impeccable aspect about our dear president is that he was a star, an icon, who played for millions, who traveled the world, who have seen it all. Cars, homes, you name it. He's lived the world. He has seen the world. Though he has seen hunger, though he had experienced hunger, though he has experienced poverty, but he later will gravitate to stardom, to enjoy luxury, play with money. And so he came with two unique experiences. He was hungry before, he was well fed before, he had nothing before, he had so much before. Coming now, my expectation was that with these two unique experiences, this guy would not be a greedy man because he has seen it all. He has eaten it all. Fast forward, folks. It was that fateful 2018 in January when our president took that oath of office. In no time, when we expected the self-proclaimed millionaire who we were made to believe had $85 million, who accepted the amount of $286,450 from the finance ministry upon the request of the Ministry of Presidential Affairs. For what? For what? To renovate his home? The guy who had the millions? Now I'm taking money from the government he has classified as broke. And this is the broke government you have inherited. And your first business was about you. You who have lived it all. You who have seen it all. You who have enjoyed it all. You who also have experienced the worst will not come to redeem those who are still languishing in poverty. But it will be about you. And here's the contrast, because there are smart people here. Liberians are very smart. So, well, the man is elected president. He don't want to to furnish his home. Barack Obama in 2008 got elected. He refused funds for the renovation and upgrading of the White House. He said, no, America was in a free fall. So he said, no, that is not necessary. People are hurting here. People are losing their life savings. This is not about me. This is about the country and people I want to serve. So no, I'm not taking that money. In the case of our brother, $286,450 was snatched from Treasury to renovate his office and renovate his home. Yet, he was that millionaire, we were told. So the question is, what happened to the millions? Fast forward. Immediately, 3 months into the presidency, President Weah went and demolished his 9th Street residence. The house he could not paint for many years, even when he was elected as senator. He could not paint that house. That house was in dilapidating condition. President Weah would go to break that house down. And he turned it into a mansion. How President Weah had the millions, we were made to believe, he would have renovated his house. Because the immediacy we saw him proceeding with to resuscitate himself economically was very fast. That speed was so fast. 3 months. So this was a man that wanted to renovate his house. This was a man who was experiencing the shame that our former world best, former millionaire house is in this condition, can't be renovated. He became senator in 2014, and yet that money was not enough. He could not renovate a house. Upon becoming president, he will go to break that house down. And I got pictures to show you, so let me go a little faster here. As though that is not enough, we have multi-million-dollar condominiums More than 15 units were constructed in no time. In no time, folks, President Weah, who could not renovate his house on 9th Street, who go to build the fucking clone church, but I will call it temple. The fucking clone church. I prefer the word temple, and I have a reason why. Stay with me, I'll tell you why I prefer the word temple. Because it seems to be the leadership style of our president is like, somebody playing karate. So he goes to the temple to pray, like the Shaolin temple, right? But let me progress here. That was just for fun. The fucking clone church. President Weah, peace to the ashes of his dear grandmother, a woman of Southtown. I'm a son of Southtown. President Weah has so much love for his grandmother. His grandmother, we the people of Southtown know, was a religious woman. She has this sense of love for God. So you could tell President Weah, even when his mother was alive, wanted to build this church, but he could not. Why? Because he didn't have the money. If President Weah had that money, the way he talked about his grandmother, apparently that was one of the requests from his grandmother. But at some point, he became financially incapacitated. So the brother could not fulfill the wish of grandma. But when he became president, he had power. He was unrestrained. And he could use that power to access funds. And so the fucking clone church was built. The people of Clarendon, where he lived, where his grandmother had lived, the people of Gibraltar, their homes have been in dilapidating condition. During the rainy season, the homes are flooded. That was President Weah, whom he felt the need to go and share some love with his people in Gibraltar. And so we were made to know that President Weah had embarked on re-roofing those zinc shacks in Clarendon. Instead of doing more than just changing the roof, but that's what he chose to do. Not only that, we were told that President Weah was using his own money. Again, some of the millions we were made to believe he had. Few months later, we got documents from the finance ministry that the money that was used to re-roof zinc shacks in Clarendon came from our treasury, came from the national coffers. This was a president using his power, giving instruction to his body, Samuel, to take that money, do what I say, by re-roofing the homes in Clarendon. The project was going on with fast G speed. Our brothers and sisters in the CDC were celebrating President Weah, that he was using his own money just to be caught pens down. The question is our president a kleptocrat? And for the discussion, let me remind people the definition of a kleptocrat. A leader who makes himself or herself rich and powerful by stealing from his country, that person is a kleptocrat. So the question is President Weah a kleptocrat? That is our topic for today. Let me progress. And so the Clarendon thing passed, and then came another house that the president has built. Now, this time, if the 9th Street building was broken down, the condominiums were all off, all right? Clarendon was in play. He took money from the finance ministry. And then what next? President Weah went and built a house that he had intended to use as his radio station. But that information leaked, and so they twatted. And what they said? They said that President Weah had built the building to give it to the female journalist Association of Liberia. I have pictures and I'll show you. Everything I'm telling you, I have images to show you, folks. So let me just bring a piece here, then I'll bring the graphical images for you to see. So fast forward, that billing was given to the Liberian Journalist Female Association. Female Journalist Association of Liberia, that's the name of FIJA. And not only that, he gave them a car and he gave them a piece of land. But the billing was intended for President Weah. Fast forward, the Mamba Molu audio tape leak. And Mamba Molu had confirmed what the representative said, that when the president, that audio tape is on YouTube. Y'all put that Mamba Molu audio tape. It will come out. I need not to play it yet. Many Liberians listening to it. He said, whenever the president travel, our president travel in the name of our country and return with money, he takes the money for himself. Mamba Molu is on audio tape. Not Ansony Sieh saying that. That is the chairman of CDC. It died a natural death. Why? Because he was talking about a powerful man. Fast forward. A movie theater was built. President Weah could not build a movie theater when he was senator. He could not build a movie theater when he had, quote unquote, the millions. Even when he was peace ambassador, something I will come to that. I got something juicy there also. He couldn't build it. A movie theater was built. Fast forward. A well-equipped music recording studio was built by the president. It is the movie, the recording studio President Weah used to produce his song, Liar Man. You forgot Liar Man? Huh? You guys forgot Liar Man? Liar Man came from the musical studio that was built by President Weah. The question is, why couldn't this millionaire build all these things that he so desperately wanted all these many years? Even when he was senator, he couldn't do it. He couldn't renovate a nice tree house. And you people want to tell me that something is not going on here, that this brother, this president, is not using power? We saw that with the Claratown thing. I just explained that to you. Fast forward, even Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, who was getting massive support from the international community, the billions with a B, billions were flowing into Liberia. Ellen would not use private jet. But here comes the boy from Gibraltar, the president from Niggertown, the president from Sastan, the man from a humble beginning, the man who came out of unrestrained poverty. The Liberian intellectual would say, abject poverty, felt the need to fly a private jet in our faces. What is happening here, folks? Did you see our president on his own private jet when he had, quote unquote, the $85 million? Did you? And this was a president who had taken office according to his own words. Oh, that my friend borrowed me the jet, so I'll boost my morale. Really? Mr. President? This thing is about boosting morale? What kind of morale you want boost, Brabby? What kind of morale you want boost? You boosted your morale. Many, many years ago, when you became the pride of Africa, when you became the world best of Europe, even though you were not a European, you became world best. A man from Gibraltar, from Liberia. So you enter stardom, you became an icon of football. We all celebrated you. Your morale was being boosted beyond measures. And you have the opportunity to serve your people, and you come to tell us this is about boosting your morale? Seriously? And our friends will tell us when we are making these critical analysis of the issues concerning our country and the seriousness the leaders need to bring to leadership, they will tell us, you know, the president, 24 years. I am looking for 24 years. Oh, I want that 24 years. 24 years of this? Hey, I don't remember when I heard that again. It gone away, disappear. Let me progress. Private jet, brother, yeah, seriously? To boost your morale? And here is the thing. I work in the airline industry. I have been in the industry for 9 years. This is what I do for a living. I know the cost associated with operating a single jet. Jet fuel is expensive. Maintenance alone is expensive. But our brother said he needed to boost his. Liberian people have already boosted your morale, Mr. Weah. Mr. President, your morale was boosted when the people elected you. If there was any reason or is any reason for you to boost your morale by meeting their needs and improving their material condition. That is how you do it. The other good word for it is legacy. You left a good legacy in your former profession, football. You were the man. My sister, brother, I was proud of you. But on this one, brother, no. No. Morale? This is about morale? Come on. Let me bring you some pictures. Look. You are watching Focus on Liberia. My name is Ansony Sieh. This is the hour of politics. And yeah, I focus on Liberia. We educate, we elevate, and promote all things Liberia. So the image you see there is then football icon George Weah beaming with smiles with his beautiful wife and children. And in that picture, you can see money makes people to shine, man. That's my brother right there, shining with his family, looking so lovely. You could tell money was right there. But fast forward, folks, this happened. I guess this was when the $85 million disappeared. There is Mr. Weah with his beautiful wife. I guess you can say President Weah is looking handsome, right? I guess you can say, you know, the first lady is looking beautiful, right? But look at this one. Look at this one. This was when the money was there. And this is when the money was all gone. I left poverty before, folks. I know how it makes you to look. We all remember Samuel Doe when he was that master sergeant. First, I understand he was a corporal and got promoted to master sergeant, right? We saw how Doe was looking. But when Doe became president, he has transformed into this handsome, some women would say beautiful man. So I can say to you, this is when the money was no more. Fast forward, folks, election will come around. We know our first lady, folks, is a Jamaican American, but I don't know whether or not she naturalized to become a Liberian. She is qualified, by the way. There's no record whatsoever. There you see her. She's voting into our election. I'm telling you about political corruption that is unrestrained. Somebody may say this one doesn't make sense. If this doesn't make sense to you, I don't know what does. Weah is voting in Liberia in our election. Is she a Liberian? Well, that one, I would call it a slap. And then what happened, folks? The issue of asset declaration became paramount. All right? The law, there's a law in Liberia that says when you are an elected official, before you take seat, you must declare your assets so that people can know how much money you have in your account. When President Weah was president-elect, I remember Augustine Toe. Augustine Toe pleaded with President Weah, please, this law has been violated by many officials. Set a good example. We wanted a change, the change that they have campaigned with. Mr. Weah, declare your asset. You did that in 2005. You did that in 2011. When you're running as senator in 2004, you did that. President Weah, do it again. But President Weah refused. He did not declare his asset. Why you think President Weah did not declare his asset? He didn't want you to know that he had no money. But before I can continue with this piece, let me bring you a little piece of information that will put context around this. And here it is. President Weah, as 3-year senator, made an estimated amount of $540,000 United States dollars. That was from 2014 to 2017 when he served as senator. On the estimate that they were making around $15,000. So you multiply it by the total number of months, this is what you will get. So even when President Weah was making this money, he couldn't renovate Night Street, he couldn't renovate Jamaica Resort, he couldn't renovate his rehab, he couldn't build the comedian, he couldn't build the fucking club, he couldn't build the musical studio, he couldn't build the theater. None of those things could be done because this money was not enough. Fast forward. In 2014, when President Weah declared his assets, the liquid asset, meaning cash that he had in his account, according to the papers that he declared under oath, when you are declaring your assets as required in our law, you do it under oath, meaning you swearing that I swear to God, this is what I have. And any misrepresentation of the facts is a crime. But this is why President Weah said, no one forced him. He said he had only $50,000. 50,000 United States dollars as liquid cash. The only money he had in his saving account in the USA, $50,000. Are you telling me it is this $50,000 that President Weah showed us in 2014 that he using to pay those condominiums, the fucking church, the movie theater, the music studio, the Kleptocrat I just debunked it, right? So, folks, where is the brother getting the money from? Now, some smart people will say, but the man are president, the man got budget. We'll come to that. We'll come to that. Come on. We're making progress here, folks. So let me bring in what I was talking about. So it has been a law. I believe the laws were passed somewhere around the very 2014 or so. One of President Weah had to declare his asset. The Code of Conduct law. All right? So let me bring the information again as we go. I hope you are enjoying this, right? So here's the law. Section 10.1 of the Code of Conduct. Let me read it for you. Every public official and employee of government involved in making decisions affecting contracting, tendering, or procurement and issuance of licenses of various types shall sign performance or financial bonds and shall in addition declare his or her income, assets, and liabilities prior. That's the key. Prior to taking office and thereafter. Did President Weah declare his asset? Did our 85 million men declare his asset? He did it in 2011. He did it in 2005. He did it in 2014. How come 2018 you are elected? The law is asking you to declare your asset, and you refuse to declare your asset, Mr. President. So I put that violated. President Weah did not declare asset. And after all, President Weah declared his asset 6 months into his presidency. A gross violation. A man who has preached the change thing will not abide by the law. And then bill, the code of conduct, I think it was sponsored by Akara's grade. Maybe grade need to come here for us to talk about this. President Weah violated the portion of the law that says before you take office. And the law continues. At the end of every 3 years, President Weah has been in power now for more than 3 years. President Weah has not declared his asset again. The law said before you take office, after every 3 years, declare your asset. That one you will never hear about it. And the mayor is in power. The time the mayor had not gotten into power, when people were pleading with him, he will not do it. And he said something interesting, and I'll bring that to you. So President Weah have violated by not declaring. He been in office 3 years now. The law requires that after every 3 years you should declare. He has not declared. He took office January of 2018. January of 2024, that's 3 years. He's supposed to declare his asset. Did he do that? No, he did not. So that was the second violation. On promotion, progression from one level to another. He gravitated from being a senator to being a president. You should have declared your asset. He did not. He violated. Upon transfer to another public office, he came from being a senator to being a president. He also left the peace ambassador job that I'm going to talk about later, and yet he did not declare his asset again. So that was another violation. Upon transfer to another public office, violation, again, that's violation number 4. Upon retirement or resignation, you also have to be able to do that. President Weah have to resign to run as president, right? I don't know whether or not he resigned. That was another violation there, folks. Let me progress quickly. Time is fast spent here, folks. Time is fast spent here. So on this asset declaration thing, after everybody been pleading with the president, begging this president, please declare your asset, set an example. He will not grant any Liberian journalist an interview. BBC, he granted BBC an interview. And this is what our president said, and I'm going to read it for you. President Weah said, and I quote, "I have kids and family to protect, so I gave them access to all my banks, so they have to protect me. Information about my asset cannot be made public." Mr. President, you made it in public 3 times in the past. What is going on now, my man? Mr. President, the time you declare before 3 times, you are still having your family to protect. Seriously? Then he continued, "For those government officials who have not yet declared their asset, I have told them to do so because they have to abide by the law." What's about you? You can't abide by the law too? Folks, are you paying attention? He said he has told his officials to declare and they should abide, take action. That's the work of the president. Crying like a baby. They have to abide by the law. President Weah told the BBC. So our president there, he refused to make his asset public. Nobody will see it because he got to protect his children. I told you about the 9th Street resident. Here is the evidence. President Weah broke it down. 3 months into his presidency, he could not renovate this house. Now he president out of a sudden, morning job from somewhere. Maybe the $85 million this guy has resurrected. That's the 9th Street building that he broke it down. I remember the words of Representative Youngblood, may her soul rest in peace. When Liberians were asking questions, she told Liberians that flower living before door ear caught. That's what she said. Fast forward, folks. That dilapidated building on 9th Street, President Weah broke it down because it was shameful for men who have earned millions to have had that kind of building. And so all that time he was senator, he was peace ambassador, he didn't have the money to renovate that building until he became president. And then President Weah would turn that building into something that he feels befits him. And here it is, a mansion with pillars displaying power and wealth and opulence. He said he was going after Ellen for opulence. I enjoy him that time. But yeah, he is displaying opulence. Fast forward, folks. The condominiums. When the brother had the $85 million, when he was the wall bears, when he was on top of the wall, when man George Weah at the time had captured the wall with his brilliance in the game of football, making the $85 million, we were told, he could not build this. When he was senator, when he was good ambassador for UNICEF, President Weah could not build this. Did he not have that money? But we were told, or we have been told, by his supporters, his apologists, his surrogates. All right? We have been told by all these people that the president had $85 million. Apparently, he was not spending a dime on that money. He just had it in a bank account. But according to him, in 2014, he had only $50,000 in his savings. President Weah is telling you this is what I have, but yet our brothers and sisters will come and justify for President Weah that he had $85 million. But that $85 million they saw that I did not see could not build these houses when he had that money anyway. Not until when he became president. And these massive structures, condominiums, started popping up in Liberia in no time. Tell me that is not somebody in power using his power to amass wealth at the detriment of his people. Tell me that is not it. And if you tell me that is not it, I will sincerely apologize. But as far as I know, I owe no one an apology for coming with the truth. I'm not going to economize the truth. I told you earlier, at some point, President Weah had built himself a radio station that he wanted to operate. But when the information had leaked, they turned around and said, no, President Weah built it to give it to the Female Journalists Association in Liberia, FUJA. There is the building you see right there. President Weah is supposed to use the country money and to build that and give it to the Female Journalists Association. This is how it is. A president can just take money, build it, and just give it to people? Seriously? And that is the justification that you think going to excuse you of this behavior? But it will capture in many articles, but I picked up the one from the African Star newspaper. It's an online newspaper. And it reads, Monrovia, Liberia, April 22nd, 2019. The Association of Female Journalists in Liberia are facing mounting public criticisms for their acceptance of a building, bus, and land donated by President George Weah last week. Posters on social media are savaging the journalists for compromising their ethics by accepting gift from the ruling establishment. That's what they told us. President Weah has built this to use it as a radio station, just as he built a church, just as he built the movie theater, just as he built a recording studio. He had built this radio station for himself, but the information was leaked, so he tried to say, hey, and let me put the female journalist name on it and give it to them. Folks, you see these guys? I will talk about these guys later. I will talk about these guys later. So when we are talking about corruption in government being carried out by kleptocrats, there you have it. You see that? Look at the budget. I'm comparing the budget of officials in Liberia. This is what I call legalized corruption. They have legalized the corruption in broad day. That's what they do. Far right is the U.S. government budget in the tune of $4.79 trillion. And yet, the president of the United States yearly income is $400,000. But come to Liberia with the budget of $335 million. How much does the president of Liberia get? 3,943,000. That is what the Liberian president gets. If you use the $400,000 that the president of the United States makes and divide it by the $3 million or the $3.9 million Liberian president gets, you will know how many times what the president of Liberia makes than the president of the United States, though the United States president is having a budget of $4.79 trillion. And Liberia is just 535 million. The vice president is 2 million. The speaker is 1 million. Pro tem, 1 million. But compare that with the pro tem in the US. Compare that with the president, vice president of America. Compare that with the speaker in America. Compare that with the pro tem in America. Folks, there you have it. And now, these very people legalizing corruption, stealing money, using their power to amass wealth at the detriment of our people, we have the audacity, folks. This is the 2020-21 budget. These folks, this president, our legislators have the audacity to allot for each county in the Republic of Liberia $200,000 only for our counties. They call it County Development Fund for development, specifically for development. No, I am not naive. I know there are colleges in those counties. They allot money for those counties, but for the development purpose of the counties, our lawmakers who allot about $3 million for the president, about $2 million for the speaker and pro tem, these individuals have the bravery, without no conscience whatsoever, to allot $200,000 for our counties, the counties that they represent. And the president will sign that budget into law. And now he's visiting the counties and he wants our people to dance, and our people not understanding these things are dancing as though he's there to do them favor. President Weah is walking away with $3 million for his office. And then he's giving the counties, he along with the host of legislature, or the legislature giving our counties, our people $200,000 only. And he goes there on county tour with no shame. I wish I were there to carry this budget to him, Mr. President. My people, you just listen. This is the budget. The president gets $3 million, he gave the whole country $200,000. I wish I were there to show that to our people, for them to see where the heart of our leaders are. These leaders are nothing but kleptocrats. Individuals, either they legalize the corruption to do it at the detriment of our people, or they do it unrestrained. That is what they are doing. And you, the Liberian people, need to know this. This is getting too much. And I cannot stomach it anymore. That people will come to power and they will have no regard for our people. I have something to show you. There's a reason why I'm showing you this guy called Weah. So let me remove this so you can see a little more of my face, for you to know that I'm serious about this. This country has been on this path. Liberians from all walks of life, young, old, country, Congo, if you like, all came together, all ethnicities, in their majority, gave this president a mandate to do for them. And he's doing only for himself and the folks that are around him. How do I know? The budget tells it. The budget tells it. How you give a whole country $200,000 and you give yourself $3 million and you want your people to celebrate you? How the hell you get more money than the whole country? I will say that again. How the hell you get more money than a county of sometimes about 250,000 people? It was the very thing that did. He gave in the recast budget upon taking office 500,000. I repeat, 500,000 to his wife, the first lady. And he went and gave the same $500,000 to JFK, the hospital every Liberian has to go to for care. And our friends will come and tell us the man loved the country. The man loved the country. Do you know the definition of love? Do you really know? Why is it that some people feel good that somebody is amassing wealth at the detriment of all? And they yet celebrate because of their love for that person. What kind of love is that? What kind of love is that? Folks in cyberspace, this is Focus on Liberia. This is the Hour of Politics. My name is Ansony Sieh, and I have been discussing the topic, is President Weah a kleptocrat? Is President Weah a kleptocrat? And I said to you, based on the definition that I got, that a kleptocrat is a leader or ruler who uses political power to steal his or her country's resources. All right? That a kleptocrat is a leader who makes himself or herself rich and powerful by stealing from a country. Our leaders are all kleptocrats. They steal from us. They do it legally through the budget, and yet it's still called stealing. When you give a speaker 1 million or more, and you give a county 200,000, that is stealing. That is corruption. Legalized too. Whether or not it's legal does not make it right. It is unjust. It is unfair. These folks need to stop this behavior. And these folks will come and tell us, President Weah was rich. He had $85 million. But then declare your asset. You can't declare his asset. So, to prove to you further, the stealing that goes on in this government, let me bring to you another thing. The $25 million, there was a massive corruption that was carried on to the acquiescence of the president. Nothing has been done to this point. Let me read the document for you, because some of you might be thinking the guy is just yelling. This is May 17. This is my birthday, May 17. So I remember this one very well. The GSC report says MAP or SSI did not address issues of monetary segregation of duties. Let me read. This thing is loaded with corruption, folks. Let me read that for you. Let me read certain segment, the highlighted segment, all right? The U.S. $25 million MAP exercise mandated by the Technical Economic Management Team and implemented by the Central Bank of Liberia. The GSE audit report said a letter dated April 22nd, 2019 from Executive Governor Nathaniel Petrie III revealed that the Central Bank operational funds was used for the US $25 million map exercise. You pay attention to that? It's saying because they told us that they have taken $25 million from our reserve in New York. That was what we were told. And the understanding was that they were going to open a special account in which they were going to put this money so that they will use the money to map up the asset liquidity. They're using big terms to confuse us. They said there were too much Liberian dollar on the market. So they were bringing more US dollar from our reserve in New York. They took the $25 million. All right. They're supposed to open an account to put the money there and use it to map out the assets liquidity. Instead, the GSE report, this is government-owned report saying, instead of them using that $25 million that they took from the reserve, they have used the operational funds of the Central Bank of Liberia. So the question is, where did the $25 million go then? Why was it taken from there? Let me read further. In 1.1.8 of the foundings, the meeting minutes of the economic management team mandated Central Bank to carry out the map exercise and authorize the Central Bank to reinfuse the map of funds into the economy. You see that silliness? I'm not a financial guy, but I'm going with my guts on this one. There were too much money, too much Liberian dollar on the market. So they brought US dollars, they took it from our reserve, they're supposed to put it in the account, they didn't do it. That the money they should have used, they won't use the money. They use the Central Bank operational fund. That is a problem there. The money that they took from the market and the Liberian dollars, they went and put the money back in the market immediately. Let me progress. Regarding the procedure for disbursement of the $25 million, the GSE findings showed that there were flaws in the disbursement procedure. The two-page standard operating procedure developed to guide the conduct of the $25 million map exercise did not address issues monitoring segregation and duties. All right. They are spelled out in several accounts of the GSE finding 2.2, 2.4.6. There was a variant of US $1,466,783 between the summary list of beneficiary and the detailed report per beneficiary prepared and submitted by the Central Bank of Liberia. What they are saying there is that 1,466,783 could not be accounted for. That is the variant. There was a variant of US 1,466,783 between the summary list of beneficiary and the detailed report per beneficiaries prepared and submitted by the CBL. So the question is, what is this money? That is the variant. That is the amount that could not be accounted for. What happened to that money? The report continues. 2.4.7. Asset for three beneficiaries with a total amount of US $2,507,380 listed in table below. No receipt were issued to the total amount of beneficiary contacted and interviewed during our fee verification. Can you imagine that? About $2,507,380 was given to some beneficiaries. Some people, they said they have given they are giving US dollar and took Liberian dollars from. There was no receipt. The group went in the fee, they talked to the people, they interviewed them. No receipt to prove that they have given these people this $2.5 million. There was no receipt. They interviewed the people. It was a lie. Where did this money go? Samuel 12. Amen. And somebody will come here and tell me this is not the textbook definition of kleptocracy. Our leaders are not the textbook definition of kleptocrat. Let me read follow. Let me come here, folks. You see here? Let me come here. Let me read from here. All right. Section 1.4.2. There was no corresponding United States dollar account open, I said earlier, to hold the US $25 million to be drawn from the International Foreign Exchange Reserve account for the purpose of the map or exercise. Hey, Liberian people. You see that? I said it earlier. They did not open no account for the $25 million they have taken for their reserve. No account open. Where did that money go? Why are we talking about the money? Mansions has been built, movie theaters, recording studios that could not be built, a radio station that was given to the journalist, a church. Hey God, church and all. Amen. Amen. All right, folks, let me come to this other one here. Let me highlight it so you can follow along as I read. In section 1.5.2, the GSC says, a letter dated April 22nd, 2019 from Executive Governor Nathaniel Petro III revealed that the Central Bank Operational Fund was used for the MAPO exercise. They repeated that. And so, let me read here again and highlight it. The report adds in section 2.5.3 that the funds used for the MAPO exercise, US $15 million for the direct MAPO exercise and $2 million auction to Total Liberia Incorporated were traced to the Central Bank Operational Vault. You understand that? What they're saying is that the money they say they have, the $25 million, they told us they have taken from the reserve, and they actually took the money from the reserve. They didn't open any account anywhere in Liberia for them to deposit the money before carrying on the MAPO exercise. Instead of using this money that they have taken for the purpose, let me put myself on the screen so people can see me better. Instead of using that money that they have taken for our reserve to put in an account, first they did not put it in an account, so no one knows where the money goes. So they didn't do that. Of this money, they said they used $15 million to do the MAPO exercise from the $25 million. And $2 million of this money was auctioned, according to the report, to Total Liberia Incorporated. And all of this money that they used for the MAPO exercise, the $15 million and then the $2 million that they have given to Total, that money came from the Central Bank Operational Vault. The operational vault is the vault the Central Bank uses for a daily operation. Hello? So the question is, where is the $25 million that was taken from the reserve? And up to now, the government can't explain to us why they did. If that is not a textbook definition of corruption, then tell me what it is, folks. And many of you remember when Presidential Affairs Secretary, Deputy Presidential, not Presidential Affairs, Deputy Press Secretary Smith, to put it right, Deputy Presidential Press Secretary Smith, when that 9th Street thinking, 9th Street building, right? You remember when the man went on the media and said, President Weah has transferred the property to his son Timothy Weah, and that it was Timothy Weah who was carrying on the development through his mother in Liberia. You remember that? Why you think they felt the need to tell this story? If President Weah was the millionaire who had the $85 million, even though he didn't want to renovate this building all these years when the building was in bad shape, and they're trying to tell us that he had that money still, and now that he read it, they want us to believe as though we are fools. Why he can't use his own money and say, I'm the one renovating my house because I read it now? They came to the Liberian people with this explanation that President Weah had given the money, the building, the property to his son, Timothy Weah. And it was Timothy Weah, now playing football, any millions, who was renovating this dilapidated building and turning it into a mansion. So questions started coming. You know why they changed that story? Because Timothy is a U.S. citizen. By Liberian law, you can't be a foreigner and own land in Liberia. Because when they say you are giving the property, it will include the land. So no, we can't say that. The backtrack. So they instructed Toby to come and change the story. So the thing is, so even when they try to change the story, they just said, no, it's not Timothy. So it's President Weah, right? Then make it clear. But they have to change the story. So why you felt the need to not say that was President Weah who was doing it and that was his son Timothy? When they got to know that, oh, that man is not soliciting the race question, they say, oh, they're not Timothy. They just came and dismissed it. They used Toby. Toby was being played. His reputation was being crucified. Some of you might say the fee for him, but he signed up for the job. So, folks, I can go on whole day and name you stuff. That $25 million, those boys play in that money. The report came from GAC. And another part that I put in red that I need to read from you, the flawed procedure of the disbursement and the discrepancy in the map of exercise discovered by the GAC confirmed similar things revealed in the CRAW and the PRT reports few months ago. So the same thing the government own report found. They said they gave the people money. People said, no, they don't give up money. They interviewed the people. Some of the places, the address they gave, they went there. Nobody was there. They didn't give the people money, no receipt. They squandered the money. We're talking millions here. So that report came out. It was given to the president for President Weah to act when they were waiting for the result, the report. This is why our friends were telling us, hair's going to roll. Hair's going to roll in Liberia. That's what they told us. That hair's going to roll. When the report came, they swept it under the rug. President Weah took the report and sent it to GHCC where he appointed that fake Nigerian, that corrupt guy called Wamodike. Today, that report that was released on May 17th, on my birthday, that document is dead. Why? Because they know what they did. And so the question that I'm asking, which is my topic, is President Weah a kleptocrat? What do you think? Folks in cyberspace, I want to say thank you so very much for following the broadcast here. Focus on Liberia. I'm Ansony Sieh, and I brought you yet another exciting edition of the Hour of Politics, and we brought you facts. We drill you through. And you want to see the guy, Mr. Map Up? The map up engineer. Some of you want to see the map up engineer, I know. Let me show you the map up engineer. This is the map up engineer, folks. The map up engineer is right there. Let me make our man Mr. Map Up Engineer. Mr. Map Up Engineer. Mr. Map Up Engineer. Where are you? Oh no, folks. Hold on. Let me get this right. Let me get this right, folks. Let me get this right. Let me get this right. Where is our man? Here is our guy, Mr. Map of Engineer. Samuel 12. Here is the guy, Lieutenant Map of Engineer. There you have it, Samuel 12. This is the guy who supervises the economic management team. It was upon his instruction. He instructed the finance, the central bank, to carry on the MAPO exercise. Mr. Map of Engineer, Mr. Unconventional Means. He told us that they took the money to Negro Town, to Clara Town, and that they used the money to map of what he classified as SS liquidity, using words that our people can't understand. There is it. And you see his boss right there, Mr. Nathaniel Maguire. Nathaniel Maguire need to be periscope. This guy, he's something else. Folks, let's leave it there. So our men told us that they use the money to map out, but the report is telling us a lot of money went missing, no receipt, nothing. And President Weah said you were going to take action. That report died a natural death because Samuel 12 was caught. His hands were caught in the cookies jar. Why is the president not acting on it? Because he too is connected to this. Or many of you have forgotten about the National Housing and the National Housing Authority scandal about Dwana Sion, how President we are supposed to get 400,000. Nathaniel Maguire supposed to get 100,000. The Justice Minister Musa Din supposed to get 100,000. Nathaniel Maguire supposed to get 100,000 in kickbacks. Let me read your comments, folks. Let me read your comments. I know you have a lot to say. This is where people come after me. Let me see who are after me. This is the part of the show that I like, when people come after me. All right, Jeans Zodwa. Jeans Zodwa writes, you didn't even ask for evidence. You hear talking is true. I don't know what you mean. This is Vafli Colley. Is that why Weah stole the 16 billion because he didn't print it? Somebody is asking a question. Lord Brian, speaking on the basis of circumstances that raise red flags. Someone is asking a question or making a statement. Robert Walker writes, you are sick. You don't know him. All lie, brother. This is Minister Flavor Weah. I love your presentation and argument. Very straightforward. Great job. Someone is giving me some flowers, yeah. This is from Fallon Saki, my dear brother. Please do not try to drag the facts of the matter of corruption in Liberia. If you can say that from President Tubman to Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, all those presidents are as a kleptocrat, then why not directly name President Weah? President Weah is a kleptocrat. I said it. You think I'm a coward? You didn't listen to me? Well, maybe that was when I was addressing the subject. President Weah is the most kleptocratic of all those presidents before him. Weah is a broad-day kleptocratic leader of all of the presidents before him. Let me hear from Mayfi Deco. Weah used to have charter flights waiting for him to come and play for Lone Star and back to Italy. I don't know why he would have to borrow a private jet to boost his morale. I still don't understand. I said, I don't understand. Where is the private jet? Tipla, tipo. You need to be ashamed of yourself, brother. All what you are saying is unnecessary. The guy said I should be ashamed of myself. He's coming after me again, maybe. He is the president. What do you expect? Ellen sent her money abroad, but President Weah is using the money in Liberia. This guy is indicting President. Say President Weah is stealing, but at least he's using it. Yeah. For Ellen took it out of the country. What a wacky thoughts there. Let me see here. Tapla again. Jealousy is killing you, my brother. You will stay long inside. Our development is ongoing in Liberia. The guy said I was still on inside. Man, I was still on inside for true because the 24 years, we just gone 3. No, I read much from this, brother. Let me give other people the opportunity. But he's just busy. Let me hear from Abraham Prosper Johnson. My brother, speak to our understanding. Oh, we don't understand. Oh, I mean, I try to break it down. Maybe that time or defining that be word kleptocratic, right? Or kleptocracy. Or Robert Gibson. Those fools from the CDC can defend anything evil committed by George Weah. Let me hear from this gentleman, Anthony Gates, the preacher, brother Ansony Sieh. Mercy, I'm preaching. Let's hear from Hassan Bility. These guys are all criminals. Very, very sad for the people and the country. Let's hear from Anthony again. This is the reason why I have I'm very critical of politicians in Liberia. Yeah, we have to be critical of those people, man. The boys, Buffer Chima, who are making noise during early time, you don't hear him even speak because he's getting millions. Melvin B. Moore, OP and CDC are no different. Even CPP, if elected, will be the same. The truth is, we are non-patriotic. Sound point right there, and I couldn't argue with that. Mona Quinn. The next morning, the government will generate will be our children recess. We shouldn't be surprised for the government to tell education to collect 5% of our children recess from the government. I think she's been very sarcastic there. This is a long one from Tanu Gibson. One thing that is very important to you talk show hosts, journalists, and news reporter is credibility and a positive image. So I am sure you are presenting facts. Yeah, Ansony. You said Anthony, but I'm Ansony. Let's make Donald Trump out of George Weah. If these are all facts, let him be a one-term president, and we really need to organize our government better to lead the country effectively. Let's vote him out. The American government is also very disappointing when it comes to intervening into our political, and so on. I think he meant to say our political affairs, something like that. Let's hear from Brian again. Brian, go analysis, bro. The circumstantial evidence points to the facts that there's massive corruption being perpetrated by President Weah and his cahoots in their country. Folks, a lot of comments here. Let me hear from Patrick Nyanfo Sr. You need to support your claim with you accused people. Oh, write it in better, man. Let me hear from this Edmond Zizi. Ansony Sieh, congratulations on the best presentation I have ever heard on Liberia for a very, very long time. Well done. Keep up the excellent work. Someone is blowing my trumpet. I'm not sure if I'm that good. Let's hear from Prince Cephas Deba. I disappointed. I think he meant to say I am disappointed in this government. Young man is disappointed in a government that inspired him. I can understand that many young people are. Liberians, we got lots of work to do. What a very subtle way to put it. Minister Weah again, we can make good changes in Liberia beginning now that our children will follow. But the ones we have in government that we call officials, they are not setting the good examples. Like hear from Lee White Philip, even the ANC leader too. Someone is making some argument here. I don't know where that argument is coming from. Folks in cyberspace, this is Focus on Liberia. This is the Hour of Politics with me, Ansony Sieh. The Hour of Politics comes on here every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Because of time management is telling me that I should not take calls. So there was more like a presentation backed by factual analysis. I gave you evidence. I gave you circumstantials. I gave you pictorials. And I cited instances that point clearly to corruption in Liberia, showing and also proving that our government is a kleptocratic form of government and that our leaders are nothing short of kleptocrats. Folks, this is how we will come to the end of this broadcast, but I have something to show you before I leave. Let me bring in something you might want to see because we got some exciting programs coming on here. I focus on Liberia, and I think you need to know. This Thursday, you do not want to miss this show. Focus on Liberia got a brand new show called Tough Talking Thursday. This is the program when you see intellectual heavyweights come to the intellectual disco to discuss, breaking their toughness, no insult whatsoever, but their toughness and seriousness and their passion and their everything toward the debate, talking about the national debate. Tough Talking Thursday. The topic will be the ruling party, the opposition. Who should we go with? Or we can't go with any of them. We need something else. Hey, I'm not going to give you all the Jews. We will be drilling on the current state of affairs of Liberia, what needs to happen, and where do we need to look for answers. In the discussion, he has the scars to prove. George Kanantule, he is a political commentator. He will be here. Also, Dr. Jeremiah Wapo, he is the political leader of VOS. He will be here. And also, focus on Liberia chief political analyst, Weah Kuni will be here to discuss on Tough Talking Thursday, folks. You do not want to miss it. And this program is coming on 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Also, we have another one coming for you this Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Focus on Liberia present the Poro and Sandy Society. We have George W.A. Pato, who is a graduate of the Poro Society. We are talking culture here. You want to be here. Joining him also is Mr. Carr. He is a PhD research student, and he is doing some research. He's going to complement all that Mr. Pato have to say. It will be culturally rich, and you do not want to miss it. Folks, for these and many programs, keep your diet set here and focus on Liberia, where we educate, we elevate, and promote all things Mama Liberia. Folks, again, that is what we have packaged for you. I'm Ansony Sieh, and I brought you the hour of policy. The song says, we are all Liberians. Whether or not you disagree with me because you are in support of the president, all I'm trying to tell the president is start being a kleptocrat. Start running a kleptocratic government that is all about itself. Be about the people. Let the corruption stop. If you claim you are not part of it, then take action against individuals. You can't even mayor officials to declare their asset because you will not even do so. Well, I don't want to start another show. Let me bring you this song, this nationalistic song, this songs that fires me up when I come here to do my presentation to discuss my dear country. What I do this because I want to see a Liberia that works for everybody. I want what is right for Liberia, and it's not who is right for Liberia, because we have had so many rules, and they all are being a disappointment for us. Taylor was, Turbo was, Todman was, Eileen disappointingly above all also was. I got news for Ellen. She will be Periscope here. I focus on Liberia. The song says we are all Liberians, and that song is taking us home. Thank you. Like our Facebook page, subscribe to our YouTube channel for balanced analysis of the political issues in Liberia. I'm saying to you on behalf of the staff of Focus on Liberia, bye-bye, and enjoy the song for just 1 minute. I'll see you soon. Bye.
We are Liberia. Liberia is our home.